Are you a teacher looking for some practical Stanislavski exercises? Then this is the video for you. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'm Chris Conway, welcome to Organic Acting, and this is Stanislavski for Teachers. So this video is just a collection of exercises which bring in Stanislavski's techniques and theory. They are exercises that I've used before, I found really useful. Also, it dispels the illusion that studying practitioners is boring. Oh, not another practitioner. Practitioners are boring. I'm sure we've all had learners say that. Of course, you're welcome to change and adapt these ideas in your own way and make them more relevant and suitable for your own learners. So the first one is what I call the given circumstances exercise. So with given circumstances, we're looking at the where, the what, the when, and how given circumstances can change how a scene is played. It can really give some choices to the actor. It can transform how they approach a scene and how they approach their characters. Now, the basis for this exercise is a really simple duologue. And this reads as follows. You're late. I know, I couldn't help it. I understand. I thought you would. I have something to give you. Really? Yes, this. Now, as you see, the scene is completely bland. There's no description, there's no backstory. It's as straightforward and beige as beige can be, really. What I like to do is I will get two volunteers and I will get them to perform the scene and reinforce to the whole group how basic this scene is. It has no life whatsoever. Following this, I will put the group into pairs and I will give each of them a set of given circumstances. I will give them 5 minutes to rehearse and then to present to the rest of the group. The aim of this exercise is to show how given circumstances, the what, the where, the when, can transform the scene. So here's a few examples that you might want to give out or give out at random to your learners. A person sat waiting for their partner to come home so they can prepare dinner. Two lovers who have been apart a whole week. Two ex-lovers who haven't seen each other in a year. Someone waiting for their friend to come back from across town after a zombie outbreak. A parent waiting for their son or daughter to return home from a night out. And a thief waiting to bury some loot, and it's a two-man job. So straight away your learners should see that everyone's got the same duologue, it's the same lines, but they're being presented in a completely different way. The way they are presenting the characters, the way they are saying their lines. You will also notice at the end of the duologue there's an action, and each of those actions will be different based on the given circumstances that you gave your students. Of course, this exercise is only ever as good as your feedback and Q&A sessions. So really reflect on this with your students and how these given circumstances affected the exercise. Next we have objectives, obstacles and conflict. So here I will put my students into pairs or small groups, maybe a group of 3, and give them a scenario. Each of these scenarios will give each actor an objective. It's better if these objectives are conflicting objectives. And the point of this is to show how a simple objective can give the actor some kind of through line, something to aim for, and that hopefully emotion can come from these objectives. Conflicting objectives though, what do I mean by this? So for example, you might have one character in a space who has lost their job and is in financial difficulty, and their objective is they want to be on their own and they want to think through their own problems and come up with a solution. Then you can introduce a second character whose objective is to get character 1 out of that space and to come out on a night out and to forget about their worries. Straight away you have some conflict there. There's two people with different wants, different needs. Conflict is drama. It's a good idea to get each small group to perform to the rest of the class and to discuss how these objectives affected their scene and whether the learners found it helpful, whether there was any genuine emotion being created. Remember, Stanislavski said that objectives are the main one to need of a character, and an actor should play these, and that's where the emotion comes from. Again, feedback, Q&A is really going to help you in this. If there's any of these Stanislavskian techniques that you need to brush up on, I have linked above the playlist to my Stanislavski videos. My next exercise is Magic If, Show and Tell. With this exercise, we're demonstrating how with the magic if, we don't need to force our imagination. It can be so difficult when you're trying to imagine something that you are forcing this imagination to click into place and it just doesn't happen. You are defeating yourself. So Stanislavski said by using the magic if, by saying, if this were actually happening or if this were real, how would I react? And the way I like to approach this is simply with show and tell. I will sit my learners in a circle, and beforehand I will have raided the props cupboard. And you can go in there and grab 5, 6, 7 different objects. It doesn't matter what they are. It can be anything from a candlestick holder to a matchbox. And beforehand, you're gonna instill each of these objects with an imaginary life. So for example, you might say, and this is a piece of meteorite rock. Experts believe it is billions of years old and has traveled through the known universe into our solar system, entered our atmosphere, and this is why it has a bit of a greenish hue. It has been affected by the sun's radiation. It has been cleaned smooth by sitting at the bottom of an ocean for millions of years. And now I'll pass it on to you. And you really can let your imagination fly with these objects. I have found a small bottle with a stopper in the top, and I've said that it was a deadly poison, a deadly pathogen, and that it can seriously harm a person or kill them. And I've passed this around. And I'm not saying that this object is the actual thing I'm describing, but I'm asking my learners to say, what if? If this bottle with a poison or pathogen inside of it were really here and in my hand, how would I feel? How would I react? How would I look at it? How would I examine it? How would I hold it in my hand? How would I pass it on to the next person? It can be kind of fun if you have all of these objects in a box with maybe a tea towel on top so no one can look in and your learners don't know what's coming. But take your time on this. Let everyone take the object in turn, pass it around the circle. And after the exercise is finished, just have, again, some feedback and Q&A. Did the exercise work? Was it easier using the magic if than trying so hard to make your imagination work and convincing yourself that this thing is actually what you describe? The whole reason we have the magic if in the first place is to allow ourselves a little bit of breathing room. We could be quite hard on ourselves as actors, and the magic if just allows us to sidestep the issue of imagination, especially if we're having trouble putting ourselves in a set given circumstances. I guess the important thing to remember is there's no right or wrong response with these exercises. There's no correct way of responding. Some of your learners might say that they got absolutely nothing out of the exercise, or they might say they would never use that technique when they're performing, which is absolutely fine. That's a valid response. That's the whole point of exploring these practitioners and their ways of working. I hope you find this video useful. If you do, please remember to give me a like, a comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I will see you next time. I've been Chris Conway. Bye-bye.